Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you all how to put factory cab lights on your OBS Ford truck. So please excuse the roof. This truck's lived outside its whole life and the old clear coat's getting a little rough. But anyway, first thing you're going to want to do is put some tape down so you can, if you have nice paint, you can protect your paint, but it's easier to mark out on tape than it is on the paint. But you want to find the center of your roof. And it's kind of hard to tell, but I put a center mark on my third brake light, and then up front of the windshield trim, I put a mark right in the middle. From the middle, once you find your center of your cab, every cab light is 1 foot on center. So once you get your center line, measure out 1 foot on each side and then another foot. That should be your 5 even spaces for your lights. And then to double check yourself, you can measure from this line to the edge of the drip rail, which on my truck, both sides were about 6.5 inches. So I'm happy with the spacing. Now let's move on to where the cab lights go. I don't have a factory truck here to get a measurement off of, but with looking on forums, they say the cab lights are spaced 3 3/8 of an inch back from the windshield trim. So I just cut a little piece of cardboard, 3 3/8 inches. That way I can put the front edge of this on the windshield trim and mark where the back is. That should be where the front of my cab light goes. So now, as you can see, I have marks using my little piece of cardboard. That's where the front of each light should sit. So now we're going to put the lights on. Just line the center of your light up in the back and in the front. Right about there. It's kind of hard to see. I'll use the camera for it. Line them up. And once you have all of your lights sitting on your marks, you want to get off the truck and look at it about 1,000,000 times and make sure you're happy with it and make any little adjustments you think you need to make. Because once you drill them holes, you cannot go back from that. Once you drill your holes, that's where your lights are going to be. All right, guys, I got my lights all on my marks. Looked at them from the front, over here from the side. They don't look too bad. Just gonna try to get it from all angles and make sure I'm happy with the fitment of them. Like I say, they're all pretty even. I mean, I'm sure even Ford had a little bit of tolerance in theirs when they put them on from the factory, but they look pretty evenly spaced to me. So just something I did. I made me a little cardboard template of a cab light, same size as the cab light. Poked holes where the bolt holes go. That makes it a little easier to mark out where your bolt holes go on the cab. All right, y'all, got my holes marked out. Got my leak creator hooked up. Time to drill some holes. All right, guys, so we got the holes partially drilled. The 2 outer holes for the mounting screws are 7/64. So I went ahead and through and drilled all 15 holes that size. And then for the center hole, to fit your factory wiring connector through, you need a 3/4 hole. So I thought, okay, I'll just take my step bit and drill her out to 3/4. Well, the problem is these roofs are dual layer. So you have the outer roof skin and an inner roof. A lot of people just drill through both layers and run the wires up under the headliner, and yeah, that works, but it's not optimal. It's not how the factory did it. So the problem that I ran into, this step bit is too long by the time it gets to the notch before 3/4. So I don't know, 5/8. It only gets to 5/8 before the tip starts digging into the inner roof, so I had to stop. So had to order a new drill bit. It'll be here tomorrow, so we'll finish this install tomorrow. So I did want to show you guys the difference in the gaskets. So these are the gaskets that come with the lights from CPADDICT, and it actually comes with 10 of them, so I'm assuming they want you to double stack the gaskets to make them thicker, which we ain't doing that. So if you get on eBay, I'll put a link to this in the description of the video if I can figure out how to do that. These are, some guy just makes them. They're a nice foam, like rubber foam material, but as you can see, they are way thicker than what the lights come with. And me personally, these roofs, I mean, I don't think my roof's bent, but they have a little bow to them, and I think this thick gasket will seal much better than this little thin gasket. So I can't remember how much these were. They weren't that expensive, but I would definitely say if you're going to do this project, these are worth getting. I did notice that the hole in the center, so the light goes like this. The gasket fits the outside of the light very well, but the hole in the center, as you can see up top there, might have to take a razor blade and just trim it just a little bit, just so the gasket doesn't get bunched up. I might be able to force it in there, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, these gaskets I'd say are definitely going to be worth the money. I'd definitely go with these if I were you guys. Alright guys, it's the next day. We got our 3/4 drill bit. Got all our holes enlarged to the size we need. I will say, if you guys do have a very nicely painted roof, I would suggest covering the whole front, because there's metal shavings everywhere, and I just had to shop vac them all up, and I don't think I would have wanted to do that off of fresh paint. So yeah. So now that we have our holes drilled, our next step is going to be pulling the wire. So need to take out our sun visor screws, drop that down, at least to where we can get access into this hole, because this is where you're going to pull your wires from the cab out of the hole, and then you're going to feed the wire back in the hole and down the A-pillar to the kick panel. So I'm going to get the kick panel and the visor off, and I'll get back with you. So I got the kick panel off. The plug you're looking for is this one right here. It's got a, looks like a brown and a black wire. That's your factory cab light plug, and your cab light wires are going to come down, loop right up, hook right into there. All right, so you see that string over there? It's going up into the driver's side cab light center hole, comes down, goes back out the center hole in the roof for the middle cab light, loops back around, comes back in that same hole, comes back and comes out of your visor hole. So what you're going to do is use a coat hanger or a piece of high tensile wire or whatever, anything you can fish with, and start on the top, get it through, get it from the driver's side hole all the way over to here. If your piece of wire is too short, you got to come out the center hole like I did. But this string is what you're going to tie your bulb pigtails to on your harness. So you tie the driver's side bulb pigtail to this string, pull all 5 pigtails up into the roof. Once the first one comes out the hole, the other 4 should be where you can reach in with pliers and pull them out. Then what you're going to be left with is a length of harness and the plug that goes in the kick panel. That's where this second string comes in. You hook to that, pull the plug up through the hole, down, goes down along the A-pillar, comes back down and hooks in. I did not mention you have to take the A-pillar off as well. I didn't think you did, but it makes it a lot easier if you do. I mean, it's a couple bolts, it ain't that hard. So I'm gonna start pulling wire. Okay guys, so realized I lied to you there a little bit on the first one. From the visor hole down to the kick panel, I thought just ran right here on the outside. It actually runs inside the pillar of the truck. Problem is, once you get up in here, your connector won't fit, won't come down between the layers of the roof to run outside. So it has to run inside. See, it won't come out this little hole here. So it actually runs down and through here and down. So I found it easiest to actually feed the wire up from the bottom, up, and come out the hole up here, tie a string to it, pull the wire back through, and then hook your connector in up here, pull it down. You know, we had a casualty, we ripped my headliner, so that's always good. But anyway, so we got it all down into there. You can't really see it. Got it hooked in. Got our LED bulbs in, and we're getting somewhere. If you turn the lights on, we got cab lights, just not the cool kind, just the bulb kind right now. But we're gonna fix that. So far we got 3 of them bolted on, just rocking and rolling. Remember I was talking to you last night about the gaskets. I don't know if it's the gasket or if it's the light, because I mean obviously this isn't an OEM Ford light. Complete Performance tells that it's some kind of aftermarket. It's not Ford branded or anything, which they don't advertise it as that, so no, nothing bad to say about those guys. But when you put the gasket on, I've been kind of forcing it in the front, and actually it fits pretty tight. But as you can see, the holes don't line up perfectly. It's remedied if you just, when you put the front end, just kind of stretch the gasket a little bit and you get the holes to cover. They fit fine. But just figured I'd throw that out there. If you get these gaskets and you say, oh no, they don't fit. I don't know if it's this is the problem or this is the problem, because as far as I know, these were designed for an OEM light. I don't know if the OEM light has a different bolt spacing or if they just got the measurements on the gaskets a little wrong. Either way, they work nice. They crush down nice. Focus, yeah. So the lights don't stick up real high or anything. They compress down nice, and I feel really confident that those lights are sealed really good using those gaskets as opposed to the little chintzy ones. So I'm gonna get these other 2 on here and then we'll show you how she looks. All right guys, here's finished product. I think it turned out sweet. I'm sure I'll find one that I don't like the alignment of now that they're all installed, if I look at it long enough, but I think it turned out awesome. Get some night shots of it, but first I gotta clean up my colossal mess that I have made. Got the inside all buttoned up. Luckily, where the headliner broke is back in that corner. You can't really see it. The truck needs a new headliner anyway, but everything went back together perfect. Sweet. Well guys, that's about sums it up for the cab light install. Wasn't hard, just a little bit time consuming. I think it turned out awesome. If y'all got any suggestions for any other videos, drop them down in the comments. I wish I would have started taking videos a long time ago, because obviously a lot of work's went into this truck. I mean, tore it down to pretty much nothing and put it back together with what I had. I mean, obviously it's not perfect. You guys seen the roof and there's rust starting on the bed and everything else, but for $1,000 for the body, you can't really complain too much. That original paint still shines up pretty good, just not on the roof. But yeah, if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you got any other videos you want made, or any other questions you have about the truck or what's done to it, or how I did this or how I did that, just let me know. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.